So is this that chess move niggas was running around here talking about? I mean, this Jay-Z deal is going from bad to worse to worser. This Jay-Z deal is so janky and it's so buffoonish. I almost think that and I guess this is me on a subconscious level trying to give Jay-Z the benefit of the doubt. Do they have something on this nigga? Dude, it's like, listen, I think the way this deal is making Jay-Z look right now, it's like they're holding something over his head. I remember some months back when they had some articles talking about how Tidal is being investigated for faking streams. So what if it was a situation where they were like, look, Jay, we'll make this go away, but nigga, you're going to have to toe the line for us. And because I noticed that whole story about Jay-Z being investigated with Tidal and all that, that shit went away. That whole story went away. Y'all notice that? For a very quick minute, they were talking about Tidal and fake streams and investigating him, and then all of a sudden, that shit went away. So it was like, did this nigga have a meeting with some higher ups? And they say, yeah, we can make all that go away. But we're going to need you to be the Negro Whisperer, and you're just going to have to be our mascot. Jay-Z has been compromised, man. I'm not even saying this out of a spirit of meanness. Just the fact that his organization is being forced to give money to certain people like this, and he's saying all of this weirdo ass bullshit. Brother's been compromised, and he don't even know how to verbally articulate it. So the question is, was Jay-Z always like this, or is this brother being compromised? Does somebody have some over this dude? It's looking like that. The way he's going out, it's like they got this nigga hostage. Just like with Oprah. They got Oprah throwing Michael under the bus and basically acting as a shield for Harvey Weinstein and all these people. And look, with Oprah, and I pointed out, some years back, her dad, there was a case of some sexual assault, sexual indiscretion with Oprah's dad, and they made that go away. They made it go away, and they were basically like, okay, Oprah, we're going to call in that favor we did for you. We're going to call in that favor. You dig? They do stuff like that. They're like, look, we can make you or break you. We're going to call in a favor. You owe us. And they're doing the same thing with Kevin Hart right now, by the way. They're doing the same thing with Kevin Hart. They'll bury certain things, not promote certain scandalous stories about him, and then they'll dangle some shit over his eyes like, hey, look, we'll call you a homophobe. We'll get all this evidence of you being labeled a homophobe, and we'll keep that and dangle that over your head if you don't do what we tell you to do. You know? So, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. A lot of y'all in here tonight. But like I was talking about earlier, there's a lot of us who like to get the buck dancing when we get around those in the dominant society. And, you know, they like to turn us into minstrels. They like to parade us around as circus acts. You know, they kind of give us the human zoo treatment. And they like to show people in an exploitive way, just like with Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X, his sexuality is being exploited by the white corporations. See, whenever we deal with them, the relationship is very exploitive. You know who else is being exploited? You know who else? That Lizzo sister. That sister Lizzo. And Azealia Banks said something very interesting And Azealia Banks, she's a piece of work her damn self. But sometimes a clock is semi-right twice a day. And she was basically, saying what a lot of people thought, that Lizzo is on some mammy shit for white people. No, Azealia ain't no damn better, by the way, which is interesting because Azalia's been out here doing some bedwenching her damn self. But the Lizzo sister, she seems like a nice sister. I like to see anybody get any kind of success. But the reason why her audience is primarily white and white people gravitate towards her, and this Lizzo stuff, this Lizzo chick, from what I understand, she's been talking some bedwench talk as of late. Trying to campaign for white men and all this old stuff. So, they get her around, and Lizzo, they put her on stage, and then they turn it into a Negro circus. She's twerking. She's like extremely overweight. She's twerking, playing the flute, and flopping around everywhere. And white people like that. It's like a big circus mammy. It's on some mammy shit. And no disrespect to her. I'm really not saying that to be disrespectful, but when you plopping around like that, and it becomes almost like a spectacle. It becomes a spectacle. You dig? So there's, and then they try to frame it in an empowerment type of thing where she's accepting her body, and that's just the white supremacists trying to spin it. They always do that when it comes to overweight black women. They don't do that with white women who are overweight. I want y'all to notice that. When there's overweight black women out there, they'll parade them around and prop them up and have them all out parading them around, like Gabby Sidibe and all these other women, under the guise of, we want to just show there's beauty in all sizes. But they never do that with white women. They never do that with white women because they want to show a certain image of black women. It's mammyism. That's all it is. And they try to put a positive spin on mammyism. They've always liked the image of the overweight black woman contrasted with the slim, what they deem attractive white woman. They don't have fat white women running around like that. I remember, again, I've talked about this before, when Jessica Simpson started gaining weight, white people started clowning her ass. If there's a slim white woman and she starts gaining weight, white society clowns her ass. They don't play that. I remember Anna Nicole Smith, when she kept gaining weight, white society was clowning her. They don't play that with overweight white women. They like overweight white women when the women are comic relief. What's that British white girl who's real fat and goofy? Rebel something. They like her. The McCarthy, is it Melissa McCarthy? They like her because she's a fat, funny white woman. So they like them kind. If you use your fatness and your size as part of your comic relief, Rebel Wilson, that's her name. They'll parade that around. But a serious musician or somebody, nah. Lena Dunham. Roseanne Barr, people like that. It has to be part of your comic relief. Rosie O'Donnell. Amy Schumer. It has to be part of your comedy. So, that is what it is. There's a couple of fat white chicks who aren't in comedy. Who are they? Who's really big? I'm talking about a real big name that's being promoted everywhere. Who? Because see, Rebel Wilson, who's so unfunny to me. Rebel Wilson is so goddamn not funny. She's extremely not funny. Amy Schumer is she ain't that funny. Melissa McCartney is kind of funny in some of her movies. Amy Schumer, she be stealing folks' jokes. You know. Yeah, Ricky Lake. They lit her down and shaped like a duffel bag. Yeah, but they don't. Attractive sisters, they got a problem with that. Y'all remember even when Beyonce was performing at Coachella? I want y'all to take a good look at that footage. When Beyonce was performing at Coachella, most of the audience was white, and they weren't really into the performance like that. I want y'all to take a real good look at Beyonce's last performance at Coachella, which was a marvelous performance. That was a great performance. The white people were just kind of standing around. They weren't really into it like that. You dig? Yeah, Demi Lovato, she gained weight. You ain't heard from her ass. But yeah, they weren't into it because, you got this white audience there. What's up, Mercedes? How are you, dear? Man, you got this white audience, white men and women, and you have these attractive black women on stage. It wasn't just Beyonce. She had other attractive black women on stage, and they had Egyptian themes, and they had the HBCU themes, and something like that for a black audience. I mean, that thing, if the audience was black, that place would have just been bananas. But there were too many black positives on the stage with Beyonce performing. There's too many black positives. They're promoting schools, HBCUs. They're promoting, some form of black history with the Afrocentric thing. And Beyonce's attractive, in shape. All the other dancers attractive, in shape. So there's a lot of black positivity there. Yeah? But with somebody like Lizzo, who's out there plopping around, extremely overweight, wearing a leotard. I don't know what that shit she be wearing, but it looks crazy, and white people like that. They're like, oh, cool. This is not a threat. Yeah, this is not a threat at all. What's up, twins? Yeah, the Lizzo got, be out there twerking with cellulite, and God, we trying to twerk. I'm like, oh my God, no. But white people like that. Yeah, it don't look good at all. I mean, y'all know that shit don't look good. Yeah, but it's a spectacle, and they like us being spectacles. They like that. They like for us to be spectacles. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a drag performance, It's very a circus-like atmosphere. Yeah, that body positivity. So y'all keep being overweight to make us feel better. It's not a diss to her. I'm not dissing that sister. But I like for us to understand racial politics. Black folks, we do not understand racial politics at all. When we get around these people, this is why they can exploit us the way they can, because we don't understand what they're really doing. When they start giving you fake praises and fake props. We want to believe it. And I'm different. I'm different, man. These niggas ain't, man, I done figured this thing out. And then the ego starts talking. And then once they're done making a spectacle out of you, they kick you to the curb. And then your money run out, and you're like, hey, I'm still down to do some cooning and buck dancing. They're like, no, we got another one. No, we got another one. We don't really like you the way we thought. We don't like you the way you thought we did. You did? Debate between Candace Owens and Blair. No, I didn't watch it. I don't really watch Candace Owens. Yeah, black people don't understand coded racism. See, we think racism is what white people tell us racism is. We think racism is the Klan, Richard Spencer, and David Duke. That's what we think the Klan racism is. And you don't understand the so-called liberals. They practice the same racism as the right-wingers, as the David Dukes and all these people. They just do it in a codified way. Yeah, they think it's the skinheads, yeah. And black people really underestimate how racist the white LGBT people are. Excuse me. Black people really, really, really underestimate the racism that's deep in the white LGBT community. Black people, I don't know why you're so damn confused about that. The white LGBT community are not only racist as shit, they're damn near more racist than the straight white supremacist community. They're very, very racist. They've always been. And y'all better understand, even in Germany, there were gay Nazis. There were gay Nazis in Germany, dude. Some of the top-ranking people were gay over there. I mean, even now, you got Milo, who's part of the alt-right. Black people, what happens is they con you talking about their minority group and they've been oppressed just like black people, and you think that there's some kind of camaraderie there with black people in the white gay community. And I specify white because there is no black gay community. There's no black gay community. And see, a lot of black people try to use their gayness to distance themselves from black society. They try to other themselves from black society. That's why they like the intersectionality term. You think if you're gay, you have more of an affinity or connection closer to white people. You think that you have more of an in with them, but what they do, they understand they can use you as a token and a tool and a mascot against the rest of black society. And you think everything is all cute and sweet when you're towing the line for the white LGBT crowd by you getting your black ass out here talking about y'all is homophobic in the black community. Wink, wink, wink. You think you getting some brownie points. They throw you a couple of butter biscuits. When you go out here running your mouth about how homophobic black society is, which is a damn lie. And I want black people to stop letting these folks promote that lie. See, the problem is they've been promoting that lie for so long and nobody really says anything. Check anybody who promotes that stupid ass lie. That is a damn lie. Black people are not homophobic. Black people don't do anything to gay people. You know what they do? When they say black people are homophobic and all, they're transphobic, that's a code. Basically what they're saying is, I can't find enough black people who will have sex with me as a man. That's what that's really about. Because because black people are like, hey man, if that's what you are, do you. Oh man, that's a problem. Just like with Kevin Hart, they were on this HBO thing. He was on there with Lil Nas X, and it was Kevin Hart and a few people, and they were having a conversation, and Kevin was like, yeah, you're gay. If you're gay, so what? Which is nothing wrong with that. It's basically, yeah, just do your thing. And then all of these Negroes working for these white corporations had a lot of fake outrage towards Kevin for saying that. So I'm like, wait a minute, these niggas are auditioning. So when black society says to a gay person, I don't care if you're gay, do your thing. And if they get offended, okay, so they're getting offended for something else, or fake offended. When they try to make up straw man arguments to get offended by, they're just making up some shit. The problem is, because when they say they're gay and we say, okay, we ain't got a problem with it, just do your thing, it's like, no, I want you to come and have sex with me. No, I don't want to do that. Well, you're homophobic. That's what it's really boiling down to. It's a setup. It's like, yeah, I just told you what my sexuality was. You said you don't care, but I want you to care because I need you to come over here and get with me. And if you don't get with me, well, you're a problem. That's what they're trying to say. That's what they're trying to say. That's buck breaking, family. That right there is the epitome of buck breaking. They're trying to force themselves on black society sexually. What they want to do is create a rape culture where the LGBT community gets to dominate black society with the backing of white society. See, white society will back anything that's going to harm black society as a whole. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to create a LGBT rape buck-breaking environment where they can dominate heterosexual black people sexually. That's what they're trying to do. That's why when Jadena, and I talked about this on my broadcast the other day, and I want you guys to research everything I said. First of all, go to my Tariq Radio YouTube channel. I did a broadcast last night talking about the Rainbow Railroad, the Rainbow Railroad, this white nonprofit that goes to African and Caribbean countries and get gay black people and bring them over here and then put them in certain positions. I was bringing all types of receipts. And I brought up that speech, that interview Jadena did where he was telling half-truths about the history of homosexual behavior in African countries. He was trying to tell the lie that there has been a culture of homosexuality in African history before colonization. That's a lie. He tried to say or create the narrative or push the narrative that before colonization, there was cultures of homosexuality in Africa. And I broke all that stuff down last night. And I want y'all to do your research on what I was talking about. He brought up the kingdom of Buganda, where the king was openly gay. And then he switched subjects. He went on to something else. He was like, yeah, homosexuality's been around long before the Western colonizers came through. For example, in Uganda, when it was called Buganda, the king there was openly gay. And then over here, stop, let's break that down. Then I broke it down. I had to break that down. And I want y'all to research. He was talking about King Mwanga, King Mwanga, not Mwanga, Mwanga, King Mwanga II. King Mwanga was raping the men in the kingdom, and he was a pedophile. King Mwanga was raping the men in the kingdom, and he was a pedophile. He was getting them young. He was getting boys like 10 to 14. And not only that, he was an anomaly, and I broke it down. I unpacked it. The people in the kingdom, they were rejecting this man's homosexual tendencies. They were rejecting it. And also, based on documents and books that are out, King Mwenga, he learned the practice of sodomy from Arabs who were in the area. There were Arabs who were in that area, and this was all in the late 1800s. This wasn't in ancient times. In the late 1800s, there was a scramble for Africa, so you had all types of colonial powers there. And the Arabs had been there, and the Arabs were the ones who introduced that over there. You dig? So, again, we've proven that it was outside influences bringing that in, and the people there rejected it. And then I brought up the Uganda martyrs, the people who chose to die rather than let the king violate them sexually. And everything, I want y'all to look all this stuff up. This is very well documented. So for him to sit up and say, well, that king was gay and that was something that was normal. No, that wasn't normal at all. And that brought the kingdom down. Thousands, not thousands, but dozens of people died because they wasn't giving themselves up. Men, rather, a bunch of men got killed because they wouldn't let this man, the king, violate them. Yeah? Because over there, they didn't even have a word. There was no word for homosexuality. That was a foreign concept. Now, they had a word for it in Arabic. The Arabs had a word for it. But they didn't even have a concept of that. Sodomizing a man for what? There's not even a word for that in those ancient languages like that. Yeah. So you got to watch them when people go out here and push this fake history. Yeah, the Arabs had a major impact. The Arabs softened up the blow for the Westerners to come on in. Remember, we always forget when we talk about colonization in Africa, the Arabs came through and messed a lot of stuff up first. Yes, shout out to the Uganda martyrs. And as a matter of fact, even today, they still praise the Uganda martyrs for putting themselves on the line, for standing up and putting their lives on the line to say, hey, no, I'm not going to be violated by this crazy ass king that's in power right now. Yeah. But remember, when they start talking about certain odd practices that were unusual, these were other people bringing that in. Arabs first, then the white supremacists. You know? Why were Arabs able to take control over Africa back then? Well, and we talked about that in one of the Hidden Colors, man. Remember, Africa is old. We have the oldest civilizations in the world, man. So when you have old civilizations like that, and you're elevating everybody, you've traveled around the world and you've lifted people up for millions of years, you get worn out. You get worn out, and what happens is, certain things happen with climate. Certain things happen. Remember, places like the Sahara Desert, that wasn't a desert. When that dried up, that created, certain cultural phenomenons. The Nile River, when it started to flow in another direction, that created a certain cultural thing, and certain things just happen based on geography, based on climate, based on migrations of people. When the Moors were pushed out of pushed out of Europe, that created a lot of tension. And then there was a lot of infighting on the continent itself, which that infighting is going on now. And that right there, some of our greatest mistakes, people were able to exploit. You understand? That's why when cats are not on code, you're able to be exploited. And that's what happened. Cats are fighting among themselves, fighting in different kingdoms, just like they're doing now. Over there now, people are fighting left and right. And then the white supremacists come on in and start finessing. So that's why getting on code is important. See, and we tried to do that with, black people over here. We've been trying to push a pan-African agenda. We've been the only one trying to push that thing. And truth be told, no other people are biting. We've been trying to tell the world, hey man, look, we'll help you get here so you can help us fight. Let's do the same thing. Why don't you open up those borders for us? And nobody's doing that shit. But we're like, we'll help you get here. And instead of them opening borders for us to go there with them and we can all reach out globally, cats come over here after we help them. And then they be like, all right, well, y'all Akatas are kind of lazy. Like, nigga, we just had a whole civil rights movement. We just got our brains bashed in to bring your ass over here. We fought to get you here. Yeah, I mean, I came over here and I didn't have nothing when I came here. Now look at me. I'm a doctor living in a nice house. And I'm like, wait, what, nigga? Nigga, you didn't have shit. And whatever you got because we fought to get the minority programs that included immigrants and all these. We help you get the money. We help you get into our HBCU that was meant for us. Yeah, nigga, I know what you got. We help you get it. So it's that type of attitude. Motherfuckers got this real crazy attitude like, look how well I'm doing. Motherfucker, I help you. We help you as a group. That was us. All those programs, that was our shit. To help you. Yeah, you went to an HBCU because we fought to help you go there. We were like, yeah, we'll share our little limited resources. And now people got on some real ungrateful shit. Like, yeah, the same shit y'all were doing over there where you're from. Y'all bringing that here. And now that foundational black Americans are like, nah, no more of that. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Y'all being xenophobic. There was a brother on Twitter tonight. He follows me. He said he was at some school and there was some kind of student union thing at a university, and for like the student university president or something like that, and he was asking them, I think, some debate questions, and in the audience were mostly a lot of black foreigners or black immigrant students. And the people on stage, I think he asked them, he said, what was the last book on black history you read? And then he said, the audience started booing him for asking that question. He said he asked that, and then they were like booing him, calling him an asshole and a dickhead. He was like, oh, wow. He was like, these were mostly foreign and immigrant black kids booing because I'm asking about them, the people on stage reading black history. And that was very interesting because I've told people this before. If you notice people who hate on my movies, it's not people over in the continent, because I've been there. I've been over to the continent. I've been to the UK. The people in the UK love it. People in Africa love my movies. People in the Caribbean who's over there love my movies. But immigrants from those nations who come here, they always got something slick to say. Let's be very clear. It ain't the people on the continent. It's not the people in the Caribbean. But the immigrants from those places, when they get here, whenever you start talking about black history, they are the main ones trying to debunk it without any kind of facts. They're the main ones talking about Hotep. That's that dumbass Hotep shit. Whenever you hear somebody talk about Hotep in a pejorative term, look and check their profiles. There's always people with these foreign flags. you notice most of the people over here who are in positions in these white media corporations to talk about black issues, places like BuzzFeed, Huffington Post, all the so-called liberal media outlets where they have black people as the gatekeepers of what black culture is, most of those people are immigrants. As you know, most of them are immigrants. Damn near all of them, to be honest. But most of them, I would say about 95% of them are immigrants. The root, nothing but immigrants at the root. The root is basically black immigrants. Blavity, black immigrants. Joy Reid, all of these people are immigrants. Notice none of these outlets really talk about my films. Roland Martin, well, exactly. Notice how none of these outlets talk about my films. Think about that. Now, they talk about me. Every time I tweet something, they'll talk about me in a negative. It's always a negative when they talk about me. Or if they mention my film, they'll mention it in a negative. But all of these black publications, or not even black publications, white publications with a couple of black faces being the voices of black society, none of them really talk about Hidden Colors. None of them. And Hidden Colors is the most successful Black history documentary series ever. Do y'all understand that? There is no other Black history series more successful and popular than Hidden Colors. And I'm talking about all across the board, as far as sales, as far as popularity, as far as critical acclaim. No other documentary series about Black history is more impactful or powerful than Hidden Colors. As we know, all of the movies that went to number one, Hidden Colors 5 is number one now. Shout out to LP Brotherhood, my brother, what's going on? But it's number one now. And they haven't made one peep about it. Not one peep. Now, they see it. They know it. They troll me all the time, so they know about it. But these other Negroes running around talking about some Hotep. Anything about Black history, they shun. Whenever we talk about Black history, they're the main ones trying to talk down on it. Oh, that's that dumbass Hotep shit. Man, please. They sound almost like white supremacists. Now, why are they like that? Now, Ava DuVernay, they'll prop her up. They'll prop her up. And when that movie, she did 13, that was basically a diet Hidden Colors. In fact, she used people in that film that was in Hidden Colors. The prison system in Hidden Colors 2. Yeah. But the reason they do that, they don't like talking about Black history and Black American, because we talk about Black history from a Black American standpoint. And when we talk about our history, Black Americans, we talk about it, and we're still on our ancestral land. So we're still on the ancestral land that we talk about. So when we talk about a Harriet Tubman or a Nat Turner or Frederick Douglass, we are still on that ancestral land of the people that we prop up. And these are people that are known and revered around the world. When you think of a Black person, historically, you think of a foundational Black American. If you go to Google and type in prominent Black person in history, everybody who comes up is going to be a foundational Black American. You understand? Everybody you see is going to be a foundational Black American. The greatest Black musician is going to be a foundational Black American. Anytime you talk about Black excellence and look it up, we're going to pop up. Greatest fighter, Muhammad Ali. Who's the greatest entertainer? Michael Jackson, whoever. We're going to pop up. The greatest freedom fighters. Dr. King. We got so many. Michael Jordan. We got so many. As far as the women, our women are riders. Who do we? Harriet Tubman. Rosa Parks. Ida B. Wells. Fannie Lou Hamer. You understand? When you start talking about historical greatness all across the board, you're going to come up and pop up a foundational Black American, best actor, Denzel. You're going to get a found. And a lot of these folks, they got a problem with that because they're supposed to be authentic, full African, but they're not the face of Black greatness. Not only that, especially when they come here. See, you can't sit up and talk about how great, if you're an immigrant here, how great your folks was and how great the people you came from, how great they were, and your ass abandoned your country. You had to leave and you abandoned your shit and didn't look back. And then talk that shit about your folks and where they came from and all that, and then your ass didn't stand on that land and continue that lineage where you were. You understand? So they got a problem with that. So they try to shit on ours. Yeah, you abandoned ship. That's the thing. You can't get over that. I don't give a fuck how great you talk about we are Katas and we this and that, but we didn't leave our ancestral homeland. Motherfucker, you bounced. That's all we need to know. The motherfucker, you bounced. It wasn't popping, and your ass bounced and came over here where the fighters were. You dig? People want to talk all that shit about us, but your ass right over here with a fitted cap on, trying to blend in. And every time we start talking about history, see, that history reminds you of your history and what you had to do to get the hell on. So now, fuck all that history. Let's turn. No, I don't want to hear all that Hotep shit. I don't want to hear all that Hotep. I don't want to know about no history. Yeah? See, that's the problem. You don't want to, we start tapping into what went on in your country and what motherfuckers went wrong and why you had to bounce. See, we're still fighting.